What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Never Miss Mondays. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Matthew.
And today we are rotting and yapping. We are both very high quality rotting right now.
Cozy.
Today we're going to talk a lot about athletics and specifically like college athletics and getting out of college athletics and kind of finding ourselves post being athletes, but everything kind of in the mix there because we've been athletes since like the time we could like breathe, basically.
Just little teeny tiny babies.
Teeny tiny toilet for a teeny tiny person. Yeah, literally since we were able to walk, we were doing sports. So, yeah, we'll just dive right in and give you all the athletic stuff because I think that's a big transition not a lot of people talk about is, you know, going from competing your entire life and having a coach for your entire life and then just being on your own and, like, you grow up sports being, like, you have school, but, like, in reality, like, sports are 90% of your identity.
Yeah, I didn't care about school. I was all sports.
All sports. And then it's like, when it's over, what do you do after that? So, yeah. So, tell us about the sports that you did. I mean, you were kind of locked into a select few, but.
Well, two.
Yeah.
Well, one.
Yeah, one basically.
Basically one. I was swimming forever.
Yeah.
I started running with my dad. Sadly. Only because I wanted to copy my brother.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Regretted it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 7 or 8 and ran a half marathon.
Yeah, Matthew has a whole like news article about him, and it's like the
Fox
cutest.
59 News.
It's like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. You were the youngest one to run the half marathon.
Yeah, that year. I was like 8.
So if you think you can't run a half marathon.
8-year-old Matthew did, that's for sure.
With your dad shoes, they
Yeah.
crack me up. With your bib on, it's so funny.
Dad shoes.
Yeah, the shoes you have on in the picture of you in the news article, like sitting on the floor tying your shoes, is so cute.
I had like bright orange running shoes, like bright. But yeah, I ran.
Yeah.
And then I enjoyed biking.
Yeah.
So then I did triathlons, which I was excellent in swimming, biking. I kept the lead, would always win. Then running came along.
Your short little.
And I would
5,
go
10
from
legs.
first. I would be winning by like over 100 yards. And then I would end up getting like 8th.
Yeah.
I couldn't run.
This like might be.
I would die.
That's kind of like when you used to do when you would swim the IM. You're so good at butterfly and backstroke, and then breaststroke and freestyle would come along.
Yeah. Well, freestyle was catching up. Breaststroke,
yeah, freestyle you were fine, but I was like, whenever I used to watch you swim, I'd be like,
Definitely
he
in
needs to
college.
have like a hot lead by the time he like turns for breaststroke.
And I usually could, but
yeah, you 100% did. Like you were killing it, and then I was like, man, if he wants to win, he got to step it up in the
kind of
butterfly
like
and the
junior,
backstroke.
senior year of high school, I had it down.
Yeah.
I lost it all when we went to college.
Yeah. But yeah, you did really all swimming. What? And
I was
you
my main focus was swimming.
Yeah, and you started swimming when you were like
Little.
before you were born,
like-
basically.
Yeah. I was like, I think 5,
Yeah.
maybe 6
Yeah.
when I had my first swim meet.
Same.
It was just 25 yards.
Just jump in and try not to drown, basically. That's
Pretty much.
basically what we were doing.
I would stand there, and although they blew the
With
whistle
the big
to go,
goggles on your face. Yours upside down.
no, that was that practice. My grandpa took me to practice, and if he was there, it was fun.
I think it was real.
But no, my dad was my coach, just
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
But my dad's a little bit more meaner than yours
Yeah.
when it came to coaching.
And Dad really only coached me for like 2 years in high school. And like I had a high school coach, but they were just kind of there to like check the box. So once Dad and I
Same.
realized that I was pretty good, dad just kind of took over my training basically. So
Yeah, my dad coached me for my entire life. Then the one year he said, I'm going to step down, let him have his senior year.
yeah.
And then I went to college and he wasn't there. Straight down.
Yeah. No, you did. You started swimming when you were super little, and you swam year round
Yeah.
all the time.
My longest off season was like a month.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's where I think that was our biggest difference. Was I didn't swim year round, but I did so many sports growing up. I honestly was like so crazy. Our family was like active like when I was little, but nothing like crazy. And then I remember my mom and my dad got pretty active and then put us into like the community swimming team.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean all of us like learned how to swim from a super young age. Like we all like learned to swim pretty fast. And then they just put us on the swim team and I just did it because I had to for a really long time. And I really didn't even start to like swimming until I think it wasn't until end of my sophomore year when I figured out I was actually kind of good. And I like cared.
You did tennis first.
I did everything. I started swimming when I was like 5 or 6. I started running cross country in like I don't know whether it was late elementary or early middle school. I think it was late elementary and like 4th, 5th grade. And because I ran for, I can't even remember who, but I know it was late elementary, I think. I did cross country and swimming at that point. And then I played 1 year of tennis my freshman year of high school. I loved it. I played doubles. I was good. I was undefeated in doubles. I just like didn't care that much about it, and swimming and cross country took so much time, and so it was just like annoying, and so I only played tennis for 1 year,
So,
but I
like,
did like it.
Swimming and running is hard to do another sport because during swim season or cross country season,
You're constantly still having to train for the other sports.
yeah, and like the other sports start after like swimming does and ends before swimming does usually.
Yeah, exactly. And like my cross country season always overlapped with swimming anyways, and then tennis overlapped with swimming. And then by the time tennis was over, I needed to start training for cross country. So it was like I don't care about tennis, and like they were a great team. Like we had a great tennis team, and like they were taking it seriously, and I didn't really want to take it that seriously because I was just doing it for fun. So that's when I stopped doing tennis. But Slugger Lou was a thing. I was a menace on the mound, playing softball.
Interesting.
Yeah, Libby Loonies. I was a baller softball player. I did quit before I got to fast pitch. Let's not talk about that. But I was a mean machine playing softball. I played softball like through T-ball and up through like elementary school. And I loved it. Not coordinated, but I can run and sometimes hit the ball.
Sometimes, like
When I hit it,
once or twice.
When I hit it, I was good. But I played softball. It was okay. Just for funsies in the summer. But I swam when I was younger. It was just like our summer league there, which was kind of like almost honestly like 30 minutes away, but we did like the invitationals, like the Saturday meets and all that stuff. And then when I got into high school, I obviously swam for the high school team, but I still didn't do like club swimming in high school. Like I only swam for our high school team. So that was kind of where you and I were different, was we didn't year round swim.
I did club swimming. Started at like 5.
Yeah.
And then
when we did club swimming, it ended at 18, like the club that we did. So
yeah, like ours, you probably could have gone past 18, I think, but once you're past 18, there's no one from college ever came back.
Yeah.
And swam for the club. There was a couple like during the summer.
Yeah.
They would come practice, but they would mainly come practice with like the high school team.
Yeah.
But not really the club.
I guess I did a couple club meets in high school. but not many. But yeah, both of us did swimming, and then went on to college for swimming. So, but yeah, I mean, I really didn't honestly even care about athletics until like in a sophomore year. But then both of us went to Campbellsville school, came in same freshman class. I came in for originally IM and distance free, but then
I was strictly IM and backstroke.
yeah, but then I just switched to full distance freestyle, plus like 200, and I mean I did all the relays as well usually. But yeah, so we were kind of opposites in the events that we did, but you were like distance IM, so that counts for something.
But not really.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. Just never did it.
Yeah. So we both got into, like I said, college athletics. Both of us swam there. I mean, the best coaching I had was probably when my dad coached me, and then our distance freestyle coach at Campbellsville. I had my best races towards end of best races for that time, like, and then my freshman year of college was my best year for my 500 for sure, because I didn't swim the mile at all freshman year. And my 200 was also pretty good then. I was young, I was not injured, I had a good coach, things were cool. Still 18, my body was working fine. So freshman year was pretty good. But we definitely had some fun times in college. But I did swim all through college. You did not.
Nope. 1 year, then I quit.
You did like a year and like a couple months.
Sophomore year, I did the first like couple months. But I quit like the week right before our first race.
Yeah, you quit right before Lindsey Wilson.
I swam at Lindsey Wilson.
Oh.
I quit. It was a faraway meet.
Oh.
Faraway meaning like an hour.
It was probably like Asbury meet or something.
No. I don't know the name of the place.
Whatever.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't happy.
Yeah. You were burnt out too.
Kind of.
You can get
I
into
didn't
it.
agree with our coach at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think she had, definitely at the time, the knowledge I had compared to a coach was completely different. I had so much more, and she didn't really know what she was talking about most of the time.
Yeah.
She would pull up a YouTube video, make us watch it, and be like, all right, now go do it. Also, practice wasn't enough for me. I was used to club swimming. I was getting, high school, doing 2 days, at bare minimum, 10,000 yards a day, if not more.
Yeah, easy.
Doing 2 days in college and barely hitting 5 was pathetic. It wasn't doing anything for me, so I wasn't getting in good shape.
Yeah, you and I both just got progressively
worse. I would ask to do more. I asked, hey, like, I don't have class between this time and this time. Can I just come swim on my own? No, you need a rest. Wouldn't listen to me. However, I broke a lot of records. I was the first one to take us to nationals.
A-cut, and you got the A-cut.
Yeah, I was the only one in the swimming since they started swimming at that school for the second time to get an A-cut. It took us there, and then at the end of the year, so I busted my ass, did a lot, even though if I wasn't happy with it, with how I did compared to the team.
I mean, you were a super strong member.
Exactly. I did damn good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, when we all have our one-on-ones, and that's when like a lot of us will get more scholarship money.
Yeah.
I went, asked for more, and I'm not a big enough aspect to the team. I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
And that instantly pissed me off. Pissed me off all summer. Then came back, And
I mean, it's just a heartbreaking thing to hear when
and I started,
you
and
live your
then
whole life.
and then like starting sophomore year, like, sorry, I may not have been the favorite like person outside the pool, but I was definitely the top. One of the top 3 males.
Yeah.
On that team. All around swimmer, probably number 1.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting I wasn't wanting, oh my God, welcome, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But bitch,
Just some
acknowledge me, look at me,
appreciation.
say welcome back, glad to have you back, anything, not just look at me and go, hey, you're over there, and not really do anything with me.
Yeah.
And like little tiny like details and like breakdown in my stroke telling me, hey, that's wrong, fix it. How do I fix it?
Yeah.
They want to explain, so a lot just pissed me off, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And I quit.
Yeah. You're just somebody who, like, one, it's, if it couldn't be more money, then, like, fine. Don't, if we don't have the funds to give me more money, that's fine.
If she would have used
but
any
just
other words of
recognition.
saying, hey, like, the swim program doesn't have more money to give, we can't do that or do this, that would have been, even though I would know that was a lie because other people got more money, I would have been fine with it. It was saying I didn't do enough is what made me mad.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't do enough is like, I did a lot in the water. Outside the water, I hung out with the team. It was a, what type of school was it? Religious school?
I don't know, but yeah,
And
I mean, you and I
didn't
weren't.
go to chapel all the time or church with them every Sunday. That wasn't me, so
Yeah.
can't say.
Yeah.
You can't have that affect
Performance-based scholarships.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just, one, you came from a different caliber of education and expectations in your team. So I think that was a big shock, was coming and not having like that same push or drive maybe. I mean, because the people that had that were kind of outliers. And then, we had kind of middle of the pack where, I kind of resided in where we were competitive and like held our ground. But I wasn't out here, qualifying A and B cuts. Like, I qualified on relays and stuff, but I wasn't individually qualifying. But, I could, not hold people up in a lane.
Exactly.
And so there was just a big differentiator, of people on the team. And, I feel like a lot of stuff outside the water kind of was how we were viewed inside the water, which
100%, which
I feel like it was just the biggest like thing that was kind of hard to accept, was that the performance in the water sometimes was ignored because of stuff outside the water.
And also like I didn't agree with her, like her mindset. She was a tad bit competitive, but not really.
Yeah,
she
it was
could
just have
care
fun.
less if we won or not. It is if we are a team and how well we're bonding outside the water, in the water,
right,
at meets, blah blah blah. But
yeah, it was
nothing
just
else. Like I could go at a meet and win. It would be a smoke show. I could dust everyone.
Yeah.
But when I would get done with the race, go talk to her, all I would get, all right, yeah, nice job. Who would she be proud of? Everyone who wasn't swimming, cheering on or doing whatever. It's like, it's, both things are good, but your main focus is in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Like, you should want us to win everything.
Yeah. I think that's definitely what upset you as such a competitor, and wanting to win and being capable of winning was, where, how is this not successful? And it didn't have to come from money or insane recognitions, but I mean, shit, you had your name up on the board how many times?
A lot. And it's like, and it just turned into, college swimming turned into a joke to me.
Yeah.
Because all through high school and even before that, always being told college swimming is a whole new level. It is.
Mhm.
It'll kill you, bust your ass.
Mhm.
I got there, I'm like, club swimming when I was 12 was harder than this.
Yeah.
And high school was a hell of a lot harder than this.
Yeah.
This is a joke. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I stayed.
yeah, you stayed. She liked you.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of kept my peace. I knew I was going to stay. I needed to stay to pay for school,
Mhm.
and I needed my degree. And, you know, I mainly went to that college anyways just to pay for school. So I was good at swimming. I enjoyed swimming, but reality was it was paying for school.
Yeah.
So
Same. I just got too hot-headed, and then I quit, and then it was too
you're
late.
too impulsive. I'm
and
not.
then I had it. I couldn't have. No way could afford to go to that school without that scholarship. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, you just walked
Oops.
in the next day and you told me you quit, and I was like, huh? I was like, when did you think about it? And you were like, this morning. I was like, oh my God.
yeah. I think I gave myself not even a full 24 or 48 hours before I was like, yeah, nope.
Yeah, no, I stayed. I was only there for 3.5 years though, because I graduated early. But I swam all 3.5 years. And I enjoyed it. I mean, it was like again, it wasn't as challenging as I thought it was going to be. Sometimes it was challenging in regards to like time management, but
Mhm.
I mean, I've always been pretty good at time management, so that was fine. But like physically wise, it wasn't, my freshman year was hard. Like when we had our distance freestyle coach, like I got my ass kicked every single day. Like I was a string bean, getting my ass kicked, 5 foot, trying to learn distance freestyle above 500. And I really enjoyed that. And then just kind of from there, I was just kind of losing my footing with swimming. I loved it. But I just felt like coming from getting like a good push, like mentally in high school, getting a huge physical push my freshman year, and then my sophomore year was just kind of like, meh. I was getting into the mile, but
Mhm.
then like I didn't have a whole bunch. Like my performance just kept going backwards almost, and so it was just like mentally hard to like be trying a new race and knowing that you should be doing better, and like my body was just being weird, and I knew my training was off and it wasn't right, and I knew in my head like something wasn't working, but I mean at the time, I didn't think about it, and you put all of your trust, you don't even do the thinking, you just do. Like as an athlete, you just do. Like you
Yep.
don't think. So that's why I was like, oh my God, now I feel like I sometimes have to think. Like
Mhm.
I don't know what to do. I've just had somebody telling me like jump, and I do it. Like I don't know. And then my junior year, so you weren't even at school
Yeah, by the-
anymore.
yeah.
And then my junior year, end of my sophomore year, I ended up being able to go to nationals. I had suffered an injury about 3 to 4 weeks before nationals, with my elbow. I lied because freshman year I'd had a tiny little thing go on, and I got pulled from the relay to go to nationals because of my injury, and
Mhm.
I was upset about it. I worked my ass off to go, and then I didn't go, and I knew I could have held my ground and been fine. And so when that happened before nationals my sophomore year, I was like, no, it happened. And like my athletic trainer knew about it, coach knew about it, and they asked me if I was fine. I said I was fine. I wasn't having any pain from it anymore. My whole hand was numb. Couldn't feel a thing. And I remember warming up in the warm-up pool at nationals. Couldn't get myself out of the pool. Couldn't feel my hand. Whole arm was numb. whole hand was numb. I was like, I can't feel my hand. But I couldn't feel anything, so it didn't hurt. So whatever. Swam the relay. Not my best time, but I held my ground. I did the best I could. I wasn't going to be pulled out of it. And I was in a splint for the rest of national weekends. So right after the race, I told her that I lied and that I was actually, like, couldn't feel my whole left arm. Did not go over well, but that's fine. It was my own doing. And so over the summer, that sophomore summer was when I got into weightlifting for the very first time. Like my weightlifting glove era, I was benching, I was like single arm dumbbell rowing, I was doing those stupid workouts known to man at New Image in Princeton. Like, I'd pack my bright purple Gymshark leggings with like the holes on the side, to go work out after I got off my shift from managing the pool, and had no idea what I was doing. All I was trying to do was like preventative stuff, whatever I called it, for when I got back into swimming. But that was the very first time I was getting into like weightlifting. Like, was sophomore year.
And that didn't help you? Because
no.
Your knowledge at the time?
Nothing.
Because like what they taught us in college for weightlifting,
I think about it now and I want to cry.
Will hurt you. Like, it's one of the reasons why you hurt your elbow.
Yeah. So so I wasn't even doing anything really at all. But that's when I started lifting and I loved it. I loved the routine. I loved being in the gym. I was like reaching out to a friend from Campbellsville on the wrestling team at the time that was helping me. And I just loved it. I loved the routine. I was feeling good. It was a form of exercise I liked. And I felt so strong coming in junior year. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I trained a little bit in swimming over the summer, but like the weightlifting that I did, obviously it was not great, but did something. I came in junior year feeling fast. I was timing fast. I felt fast. I looked fast. I looked so good. And then 1 week before our very first meet at Lindsey Wilson, I completely lost all feeling again in my arm, in my hand, in my elbow, shooting pain right a week before that. Knew something was immediately wrong, went and saw the athletic trainer. They thought it was tendonitis, as usual.
Don't get me started.
And I knew something was really wrong. And at the time I was like, we knew it was like a season-ending injury. Once we started to dig a little bit deeper into what was going on, I found out I couldn't hurt it any worse at that time, but that we still needed to do some tests on it. So I said, if we're running the risk of this being a season-ending injury, I'm swimming at this meet. My parents are coming. I'm just going to do what I can. And I swam.
I was there.
I sucked, but I did it. And I'm still to this day very glad that I did. I swam it, did horrible, but my family was there. You were there, whatever. And then that was the last meet I swam that semester. And then we tried to do rehab on it. I got multiple cortisone shots in my elbow that went horribly wrong. And then I tried like physical therapy on it. I tried, I can't even name all the things that I tried.
You did everything you could.
Every single thing on there. And then I was driving home for Thanksgiving break and my hand fell off the wheel because my arm went numb. And I was like, oh my God, something is really, really wrong. Like nothing is helping. And so I went to see a specialist at home. And he was like, you're either going to need surgery now. He was like, you're not going to make it any worse. He was like, it's the worst it can get. It's not going to get any worse. What do you want to do? And me being the finance brain that I am, I knew that, with being an athlete, it would go through insurance and the rest would be covered. And I was either going to have to get it now or get it later. And it was more convenient physically and financially wise to get it done then, even if it was going to leave me out of a season. And so we decided on surgery and getting that done. But then since I knew I couldn't damage it anymore, we had Swanee coming up, which was our big meet that we would taper for and suit up for. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I don't know how long this thing is going to last. I don't know if, it could have ended. I could have never swam again. So
Yep.
I was like, screw it. And so I said, I'm swimming in Swanee. I can't make it any worse. I haven't trained in 4 months. Don't care. I'm going to do what I can and go for it. And so I swam at Swanee, basically with 1.5 arms. I did fine for what was going on. I had times.
Good for like definitely. I remember over the first half.
Oh yeah,
You
I
were
mean,
completely
first
fine.
day and a half, I was totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't swim the mile. I don't think
No,
that weekend. I really only did the 500, the 200,
and the relay.
and the relays. No shot I was swimming the mile. But yeah, and then when I came home for Thanksgiving break was when I got my surgery. Basically, I got ulnar nerve disposition surgery. So they pulled. I got a nice 9-inch scar down my elbow. But they pulled my ulnar nerve out, made a little hammock for it above my little elbow, and now she sits up there.
Stapled you shut.
And they stapled my ass shut. And yeah, but that put me out for the whole rest of my season. And I'm still so glad I swam at Swanee, because then obviously COVID happened. But my injury was huge. Kind of started like a lot of stuff. One, it was kind of the first time I didn't have an identity as an athlete. I didn't really have anything to do. I was cheering everybody else on, watching everybody else do everything, and I wasn't doing anything. And I was so limited, mobility-wise, on what I could do. And it just sucked, sitting there watching everybody. So that was booty. And then I kind of turned towards food as coping through
We all did.
my injury. And that's kind of where, a bad relationship with food started, and binging, and just feeling negative about myself. I felt negative, unfulfilled as an athlete, because I couldn't do anything. So I just, it's so hard to explain how it makes you feel and why you resort to those things. But it was just something that I felt comfort in, but then it was so uncomfortable at the same time. And I didn't even recognize myself. It was so horrible. And then when I came back in senior year to start swimming, and I mean, we were still pretty fresh in our relationship when all that was going on, but, and I didn't even I honestly didn't even talk about,
You didn't tell me about your eating
Mm-mm.
until
Tom was out of college.
Yeah, until afterwards.
Yeah. So, which, honestly, too, was because I didn't realize what was going on.
You at the time.
You don't even put two and two together.
No, definitely, as an ex-swimmer, plus, you weren't even realizing or knowing what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were just.
It was just a way of
I'm
coping,
eat, or
and
I'm bored, I'm gonna eat.
Right.
Or just eat to eat.
Yeah, and just no control with it. And I think that's where a lot of it started. And then there was no education of nutrition. There was surface level education of get your protein in, drink your water, blah blah.
Mm-hmm. But
College kids.
No, that doesn't mean shit.
Right.
And definitely as a swimmer.
Yeah.
Definitely for me, competitive, and took it serious, and always every practice go hard.
Yeah.
Hard race. My mindset, it didn't matter what I put in my body.
Yeah.
I could eat as much as I wanted. I was still
burn
losing.
it off later.
I would just burn it off later. I knew.
I mean, we burn so many calories, it's insane.
Now, I always knew, my little off season, I was always told, my dad would always let me know, and I knew I could see myself in the mirror. I was gaining weight. It didn't matter to me.
Right.
Because I know.
I'm going to lose it off.
Swim season starts back up in 2 weeks. Give me a month and a half, and I'll burn a lot of it. A lot of it will be gone.
Right.
So then once you quit or you just done swimming, our knowledge and
even
was
in college, it was the, being told, like, this food's good food, this food's bad food, and, like, that's where, like, the good and bad started for me, and, like, limiting foods, and, comments about certain foods, and that's where a lot of mine started, was coming off of that, and then you just feel so out of it, not being an athlete anymore, and you don't know who you are, so, that was just an outlet, and it's one of the worst ones you can have, but it's the reality of it.
There's, like, most people who are athletes, after college athletes, once they're done, it's almost like two directions.
Yeah.
It's almost not, it's not guaranteed, but most athletes go to is binge eating or under eating.
Yeah.
Or both. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I'm eating so much. Then they just stop.
Yeah.
And then they, like, your knowledge and nutrition.
Because it's like you didn't have the knowledge and nutrition of what to do when you were an athlete, but you didn't need it because you were just burning it all off. So it was like you didn't need to know because you were healthy and you had this physique and you could perform well, whatever. But now I think about it too, and I'm like, oh my God, if I was eating how I eat now, could you imagine how much better we would have performed?
And then, like, 1,000% better.
Yeah.
But then it's like.
Then when you're done, now you're not burning it off.
Exactly.
You have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah. And, like, some of us, like, for me, example, like, I knew nothing about nutrition.
Yeah.
Didn't know how much carbs, fats, protein I needed. I just ate.
Even that just like meal structure.
Exactly. I would just eat. And then, like, okay, now I'm not an athlete and I'm 20, 21 years old, not knowing anything about nutrition.
Yeah, working a majority sedentary job.
Like, yeah, that plus, like, I felt like, which I feel like other people are too embarrassed to ask for help because like I'm old enough.
It seems like a simple task,
know,
but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And like you can't just Google or be like, oh, what should I be eating in a day? But like look at like a diagram. No, you actually have to do research.
Yeah.
Hire someone, talk to someone.
Yeah.
And go through trials and errors before you actually figure it out.
Yeah, talking to people that know more than you. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you're not learning about nutrition while you are an athlete. It's just fine because you're fine. But then you get out of it and you're basically just like dropped off, like, bye, good luck, like, have fun. One day you're an athlete and one day you're not. Like, it's just like a complete flip of a switch. And you lose all of your identity. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no help. You're so used to being told, do this, do that, do this, be here at this time, be here at that time. You did this wrong, you did this right. And then it's just like, I'm on my own. I have no idea what to do. And there's no one telling you what to do. There's no one telling you where you got to be. You have to make your own regiment. You're now a completely different human. Your body's functioning at completely different rates. You're also reaching like 22, 23, like 18 and 23 are completely different bodies. And so like you're going through that, and then, you're typically starting like your first job. Like I started a sedentary office job, and like all that stuff was so different. You were working a sedentary job. So it's like we went from burning God knows how many calories a day and not eating very much in reality.
Yeah.
To eating the same amount, probably more.
Oh, I was probably eating
exercising
more.
An eighth of that.
I was probably eating more, about the same, if not more, once I quit swimming and not exercising at all. I was like, my exercise is like the walking and labor and sweating I would get at work.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do anything. And I was just like, I've been eating like this my entire life. So why do I need to change? I was happy with my body where it was. It can just stay like this.
Right.
False.
We learned that lesson really quick. Yeah, and then after that, your whole body starts to change, and so then mentally you start to change, And then you're like, how do I pull myself out of this hole? What's going on? Who am I? I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize my routine. You're like, I cannot, a big thing for me, I was like, I was going to my day job, and I'd come home, and I remember having this realization sitting on the couch. This was probably only 2 weeks into working my first office job. And I was like, I cannot live like this.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot just wake up 30 minutes before I got to go to work, come home, and sit on the couch.
Yeah.
I was miserable. I was like, oh my God. I was kicking ass, winning medals, being athletic all hours of the day, and now I do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like what we were doing wasn't bringing value, but like in your mind of an athlete, it's like, what am I doing all day? Like, what is going on? So no one talks about, how to adjust into your own fitness routine post-athletics. And so you're just like, I guess I'll figure it out. And training as an athlete is completely different. Training for aesthetics or health or
1,000.
everything like that. So, like, yeah, you and I could have gone to a pool and swam, but, like...
Yeah, like, I did that a couple of times with my sister. And, like, we would go and swim. And it felt good. I was like, okay, I got a little workout in. But it wasn't even a fraction of what I got in college, and that wasn't even a fraction of what I would get in club swimming and high school swimming.
Right, and then like you're not even feeling fulfilled because you're like, what am I training for?
Yeah, nothing.
What is the purpose of me working out? Like that was the other thing is, what am I doing it for? And what do I do? So
yeah, like
sure I could go and swim, but
like saying, oh yeah, I went and did that, I feel good now, wasn't enough. It wasn't fulfilling at least for us.
No,
at all.
It was boring.
No, it was like, why?
Why am I? Yeah, why? Like, why am I doing this?
I didn't get anything out of it. Like when we're in the sports, we got medals.
We got medals. We got
our
times,
names on the boards,
records. We got
in high school. We had
all conference,
a Letterman jacket,
titles, like
patches.
Yeah, scholarships, like
what? Us here, high five, good job. Now let's go to bed. No.
Right.
I look the same. I feel the same. I need something more.
Yeah, and then so, I think when I got out of college, I had that realization about 2 weeks into my first job. I was like, I can't live like this. And then it was like that same week, me and you were driving, and I was like, I'm going to get a gym membership. I was like, I have to. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to sign up at Planet Fitness, and I thought I was so bougie getting the black card. Me and you can go together. And I signed up at Planet Fitness. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was on a woman on a mission. I hated myself. I hated my body. I hated how I felt. I felt, perfect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you bought like a course, like a little 6-week course.
Yeah, I bought like a online 6-week guide. That didn't help me. I still was like, I still feel so lost.
Mm-hmm.
So lost. And so but granted, I was going to the gym, working my ass off, had no idea what I was doing. I was screenshotting Instagram workouts. I was just going in there, and I was like, something has got to give. Something's got to click. Something's got to change. And I was doing these random workouts. The videos crack me up to this day, but that girl had a dream, and she was on a mission, and I love her. And then a couple months later, I was scrolling Instagram. I found an online fitness company, and at the time,
I remember you found Katie.
Yes, I did find Katie.
And then Katie's company that she was working for.
Yeah.
And you were like, I want to be her.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks later, you go, I'm going to hire her as a coach. I'm going to try to get Katie.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on the couch listening to you do your call, and you go, I want Katie. 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 And then 2 days later, you're
Katie
on the
was my
phone with
coach.
Katie,
Yeah.
and she was your coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so sick of being in the same spot, knowing that I wasn't getting any better, and I was working my butt off, but I was just like, I know what I'm doing is not going to get me to where I want to go. And I think it's so cute then because the Katie I was like looking up to was bodybuilding Katie, and Katie no longer bodybuilds, but now I bodybuild, and so
You literally like took it. Like
Yeah.
you like, I want to be her. I want to do what she's doing.
yeah. And at the time I didn't know anything about bodybuilding, but I was just so drawn
But
to being better.
Even at the time, you didn't even care about bodybuilding.
No,
You just wanted like the
to
physique,
feel an athlete again
and
too.
then like you worked your ass off. You changed, your physique changed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And then you did it.
Yeah. So I hired Katie. She taught me so freaking much. She's one of my best friends.
I will
to this
always
day.
say, compared to all the other coaches we saw on them, if you didn't get Katie, you wouldn't be where you're at now if it wasn't because of Katie.
Yeah.
I will stand by
Katie
it.
invested in me like nobody's business. I mean, she understood me. She understood my struggles. She, helped me through she answered all my questions. I had so many questions. I'm a huge question asker, and like we worked through so much together and supported me to no ends. I met her for the first time when we took a trip to Chicago, and from there we just became so close. Like we were now coaching client, but we were best friends. And I hired her back in, I guess that was 2021, right when I hired her, and she's in my wedding now.
Yep.
So but yeah, I was with her until 2022, like late 2022, and that was when I decided I wanted to get into bodybuilding. And I had to switch coaches because Katie, the only reason I left Katie's because she didn't prep coach.
Yep, you wanted to get into bodybuilding, and then you wanted to coach yourself.
Yeah, I left Katie and I coached myself for a little bit because I gave myself a challenge of, investing in a bodybuilding coach at the time was a huge amount of money. It was way more than I had been paying for online coaching, and, I was still skeptical, like didn't know if this was something I want to do. So I said, you know what, if you can be 100% consistent for 4 months and you lose this amount of weight, which I needed to lose, sign up for the coaching. And I did it. I said, if you can do this by yourself, no coach, no accountability partner, you can do a prep. Like, you can do it. And so I did it. I signed my coach, bodybuilded, and now I'm a bodybuilder. So, but yeah, I think the reaching out for help post-athletics was the best decision.
It was
and the
hard
best
to do it.
investment of my life.
But the best. It was hard.
And then when I got into my routine, you fell into that routine too, which helped so freaking much. Like everything nutrition-wise that I was doing, we were just kind of like following like kind of the same like basic guidelines Katie was giving me
I think
for
like
you.
we both wanted to do it, and then, but like you took the like for me straight up, it was hard to ask for help. I felt like I was too old to ask for help. I should already have the knowledge. Yeah. For being an athlete,
it felt embarrassing to say I don't know how to do something in regards to athletics.
I was an athlete for over 10 years. I'm 22 years old. How am I going to go to someone and say,
I don't know about nutrition.
I don't know anything about nutrition. I need help working out. No.
Yeah.
Like, I was at the time embarrassed, and then like you did, I was like, we would have talks, and like I could tell you, I told you all the time I wanted help, but we wouldn't ask. Yeah. But then you did it, and then everything Katie would tell you, you're like, then afterwards you would implement it, and then like you and I together would be like, all right, now what's the math? Let's do this for my height, my body weight, like what I do, like, and I just copied.
Me and Matthew and that notebook and that paper and pencil, we were like manually tracking macros. Like we were grinding,
like, studying for
my NASM.
Yeah, to be a trainer. I was like, because we both.
I got my NASM to really train you, and
like, yeah, like we both wanted it, and I was like, okay, you get it. I remember you asking, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. How do you feel about it? I'm like, go for it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And then every day on our way to the gym, on our way home,
I have my flashcards
we
in
had-
the side of my
we
door.
had flashcards. We were reading things to each other. We did it in the shower.
Is
we
this
did-
an
we would-
underactive or an overactive muscle?
Yeah.
Under.
Yeah, we would lay in bed. We're sitting at
Literally
the
in the
dinner
shower.
table.
Quiz me.
Yeah, we'd be at the dinner table eating.
What is this
We
muscle?
probably had like at the time we probably had Criminal Minds or Vampire Diaries in the background with
Yeah.
a stack of flashcards in both of our hands and like, all right, your 10 questions.
Right.
Overactive or underactive. Let's go.
Right,
And
right.
and then you got it.
Yeah. And then I mean, you started living the lifestyle kind of close to when I hired Katie. We just
Mhm.
kind of fell into the same routine together and lifting together and
Just made it easy.
yeah, being better with food and just finally having guidance that we knew was right. It was like we have somebody that's more educated than us
Mhm.
that has done this, and we know we're not wasting our time. We're doing what we need to do, and we're finally going to be feeling better. And then I got my NASM. I just remember how fucking amazing I felt going from not knowing how to do this, and I felt like a foreign body in my own body, to feeling like I had control over my body. I knew what to do to give to my body, and I was like, I want to make other people feel like this. Like, I want to make other people feel like this all day long.
I've said it before to you before. So like you've made comment like you didn't have your voice
Yeah.
until like your sophomore year. No, second
Yeah, sophomore year of college.
sophomore year of college. But you didn't get your bad bitch energy that you have now. Like I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like I know who I am. I know what I know. Everything until you got your coach.
Till I got my NASM.
And now, yeah,
Mhm.
like it's still you until like you went through hiring Katie and went through that. You could see it was coming along.
Mhm.
Like you were feeling more comfortable. Then you did it on your own and got your NASMs, and then like your first client. Then after like it was probably when after you had your first client and you had their like 6-month transformation.
Yeah.
Like you compared it and were like a big difference. You're like,
Wait,
did
I'm
that-
actually kind of good at this
yeah.
stuff.
and then boom, bad bitch energy. hit,
Yeah, and then
it's
started
just
with
been going
Ignite,
up
and it
ever
was
since.
yeah, and then I started with Ignite, and then definitely like starting with Ignite was like, I mean, second best. I've made a lot of good decisions, but like very top decisions of my life. I love Ignite with my whole being. I'm an online personal trainer, lifestyle coach, bodybuilding now bodybuilding prep coach with
Mhm.
Ignite Wellness. I live and breathe Ignite. McKenna Harrington, my best friend, now best friend. I mean,
Mhm.
I consider her more my best friend than my boss, but she owns Ignite. I would give anything for her company, and I love the vision that we have and the relationship that we have working together and friends. And so being able to like feel so fulfilled as a coach with her, and now getting to do this on a daily basis, like, and helping, former athletes just
Mhm.
finally get the frickin' click and feel like themselves again, and even better than they were when they were an athlete, I think is so big. But yeah, I started coaching you. You lost like 25 pounds,
I lost a lot.
and
You helped me a lot with, because
and we didn't even diet him, for the record. If you
Yeah.
want to know about my coaching, he has never gone through a calorie deficit. So, and he lost
Never.
25 pounds. So basically,
I just learned
I am that good.
the new nutrition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Help me. Like I didn't need the bodybuilding. I
Yeah.
didn't want it. I needed and get the fulfillment
yeah,
from like I got from sports from just
being healthy and
Healthy
feeling
and but,
better in
like,
your body.
lifestyle based coaching
Yeah.
and training on find a physique you want, work towards it, and then how to keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's rewarding to most people.
Yeah. So we got you situated, and then now it's our job.
Yep. And now we're here.
Yeah. So, I mean, we went from lost little athletes to both of us being online fitness coaches. and
really smart when it comes to, like, we both,
a lot of knowledge,
like,
a lot of trial and error.
yes, like,
So much research, so much fitness discussion. Like, you work at a gym,
like,
you online
our
train, I
knowledge
online
in-
train.
our knowledge, like, in college was
maybe
little
we
to
should not eat
none
chicken
when it
nuggets.
came to the weight room.
Yeah.
Like, I knew exercises. I was cardio based. Plus, I knew some exercises that would
Right.
help me in the pool, but that's
Right.
it.
Right.
Which were not even real exercises.
Right.
And now, like, our knowledge when it comes to
Strength training.
is insane.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of work.
Yeah, and it took a lot of trial and error and hiring of coaches and research and recording and all of that. But like, I think
Progress pictures.
yeah, and just documenting everything and being patient.
And I think the hardest part, at least for me, was like doing all that, realizing and ignoring the number on the scale.
Yeah.
Just ignoring it, like, screw it.
Yeah.
Just take pictures, and then you can see the pictures over time.
Yeah. Over time. Yeah, the patience. I mean, that was what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So,
'Cause
I mean,
it was hard because in swimming, you lose what we lost in like 6 months through just exercising and dieting. We would lose in like a month in swimming.
yeah.
Like, we would burn
And
so
your,
much.
results in athletics is so different than,
Mhm.
physique results. I mean, you're going off of completely different things. But
Learn patience.
yeah, I think the biggest thing of all that we learned, post athletics is not feeling guilty for asking for help, not being afraid to ask for help, not being embarrassed to ask for help. Not even the best athletes in the world know everything. Like, that's the thing, is every IFBB pro has a coach. Every Olympian has a coach. Every good athlete has a coach. Like, I will always have a coach. I know a lot of stuff. This is my job. Like, coaching is one of my full-time jobs. Like, I do this full-time. But someone knows more than me. And so, why did we feel guilty or not guilty? Why did we feel embarrassed as fresh 21-year-olds saying, I don't know how to eat right. I don't know how to train right. I don't feel like myself. And feeling like that was such a shame to talk about and ask for help. I remember ghosting my first sales call with Strive because I was so embarrassed to ask for help. And then ended up texting back and being like, no, like, I need this. Like, this, I can't do this anymore. Every good athlete and every good coach has a coach. Like, the best of the best. They still don't know everything. And so why, as, beginner to intermediate to advanced to pro, are you feeling shame asking for help? And, you're in such a foreign body. Talk to people that have made that transition before, that have gotten through the post-athletics, that have gone through the identity shift, that have done those things, because nothing is I don't like to use the term wasting time, but I have never hired a coach and said, I hired them too soon.
Yeah, no, never.
I said, I wish I hired them when I was 2 years old. Like, you will always...
I wish I had the knowledge I have now back in high school.
Right.
I think about it, like, if I knew what I knew now back then, I felt like I could have probably gone places. Like,
exactly.
You don't know. Like, it's never too late.
Exactly. And invest in yourself always. Like, where you can, invest in yourself is the best decision you can make. I always say this. I will, if something happens and our means of living go down, my budget for coaching will always stay. As long as I can, that is the last thing to go. Like, that is the biggest, most important investment for me. Like, we have a beautiful apartment, but if it came down to it, I'd live in a different apartment to afford coaching, because it is just the best thing that I've ever done in my life. And So I think getting out of college athletics can be so hard. You go through so much. You're a whole new person. And moral of the story is just
Ask for help.
ask for freaking help. And someone will help you. And you have two really good, smart people right here that are willing to help you. So, again, like I said, I'm an online lifestyle fitness coach and bodybuilding prep coach. I've been doing that full time for, I've been doing it for 3 years, but full time about 2 years. And I love it. I'm so fulfilled by it every day. And Low Monday, Matthew Monday, is also an online health and fitness coach, lifestyle based.
Strictly lifestyle.
Yeah. He deals enough with my bodybuilding journey, so.
You're enough.
Yeah. Well, on that note, ta-ta for now. Ask for help.